Hey everybody, welcome back to another kitchen renovation. This one was a great one. This one happened in 2015, and it was a traditional minimalist house in Providence, Rhode Island. Circa 1942 was when it was built, and traditionally this style was just nothing. It was your everyman's house. So we're looking after the Great Recession. We got the threat of World War II coming on, people moving out of the city, and they just built these houses in droves. And they're one of the most underutilized houses in terms of renovation because they're a little bit intimidating getting into them. They're very compartmentalized, very small. This one was just about 1,000 square feet, and the kitchen was just awkward. So the kitchen, generally the heart of the house, but they used to put these little dining alcoves in, and it really wasn't big enough to put a table. The refrigerator was in there. It just didn't make for a very good use of space. So the whole plan with this was to get rid of that alcove. Now, in order to get rid of the alcove, we were going to pull the whole wall back. So there was a closet there. There was some stairs going down into the basement. And that was really our biggest step, was to get beyond that, because as you went down a couple steps, then you had a landing that you could go out in the backyard, and then down to another landing and into the basement. There was a headroom issue, which is why there was a closet there, because those last two steps, it had to be cut into the closet. So the closet wasn't a full closet. It had the headroom. So the thought here was to just move it against the wall, and then that way when we need that headroom on those last two steps, they're at the very bottom. And then once we have all that extra space, we'll throw in a railing and we'll put a nice big kitchen island. So since we're losing that closet, what we wanted to do was have a spot where we could have a bunch more cabinets. So we're going to do some nice cabinets above, nice cabinets below. And let's take a look at this house. So 1942. Not much has been touched. Very basic, very minimalistic. So all the cabinets were original. They were all built in. You can see it's really kind of cramped here. There's the refrigerator right in the middle of the room because there was no place to put it. So we want to design something that's really going to hide that refrigerator. And then the other thing is, they put and glued on that wood paneling probably sometime in the 70s. So it's all got to go. And we wanted to take this apart in stages so we can kind of really figure out what we were doing. And we started off with the upper cabinets. So we pulled off the upper cabinets just to see what we had to work with. Everything was nice and solid. We did determine we were going to replace that window, make it a little bit smaller, so the one thing we wanted to do was get a dishwasher in here. Now, we got this nice white shaker cabinet. This is just standard cabinetry, so we're doing the most efficient renovation we possibly can. So I did all our measurements. It was a really tight fit. And now, while the other cabinets went all the way to the ceiling, your standard cabinet doesn't. So all we're going to do later is put a little nailer in there and then put some drywall up. This board I have here was just to create a level mark so that I could rest the cabinets up against it, and it'll come out when all is said and done. And then this is our first set. We got a single cabinet on the left, a double in the middle, and a nice little 45 there. Big improvement already. And then you can see that nailer at the very top, and that's where we're going to drywall to go up. So we had another set of cabinets over where the stove was, and then there was a vent that was blowing out. So we took those cabinets out. We took the cabinet doors out. So now we talked about a dishwasher. In order to get a dishwasher in there, we had to do a little bit of figuring with the plumbing. So our guy, he had his work cut out for him, and we pulled everything out and gave him as much space as he could to kind of plan it all out. Now, once we got down to the very bottom, we had a nice green linoleum. Now that's all going to be tile, but we didn't want tile underneath the cabinet, so that's why we put some plywood down just to get our height up. And then we put in our lower cabinets. You can see the dishwasher there, and this is the countertop. This is a butcher block countertop, so it's all lammed together. It was just pre-ordered, shipped. We had a sink, so we had to cut the sink in, and so whenever you buy a sink, they give you a template for it. So I just took the butch block in the backyard, cut my holes, and then did a quick little couple of cuts just to well, put the sink in. So if you're really looking for an economical way to just get some new countertops, these wooden countertops are great, and they're really easy to work with. As I said, that was just in the backyard. Then once we got the sink cut in, put it all back together. Now you can see it's got a smaller window. We did a little drywall there. We still got this mess where the backsplash used to be because it was all glued on, but we started fitting everything in. So here's a little bit more of a modern sink. It's a little smaller because we're trying to make the most of the space, but it was a nice little piece, and it had room for a bucket, a little side tray, a really simple piece. We had to make a lot of decisions going in this on how to really make this work. Oh, and then now on to the plumbing. So all the plumbing went in there. We went from having 2 sinks to 1, so that freed up a bunch of space, and then it was just a matter of making those connections for the dishwasher. And we got the dishwasher in, we ran it, everything was working great. So right off the bat, we're already 100% above where we were previously. So once this was in, we had the countertops, everything was sealed. Then it was really time to tackle this floor. So it was green linoleum. We weren't pulling it up. The glue, the adhesive, you can see there where we're into wood, that's where the closet used to be. Then just the corner of the railing, which is where the stairs have been redirected. We just put down some hardy backer, concrete board. It's all the same thing. It's a tile backer. Made sure it was really well screwed in right over the linoleum. We weren't going to pull it up. And then the whole thing's going to get tiled. And we pulled the tile all the way into the hallways. And then we're just going to do a transition into the living room. So just really simple tile, 12 by 12 tile. We looked around. There was a great sale on it. I mean, you're just walking on it. As long as it had a nice neutral color, it was just really simple to put down. Eighth inch spaces in between, nothing big, and then just color on color grout, so that it's just going to look like one solid piece, and you're going to be able to wash it, you're going to be able to clean it. It's going to be a lot better than the linoleum that was in there. And it just took us through the different processes, and it is a couple of days when you're doing the grouting and the tiling. So this really is what took over. But then once that was dry and cleared, we were able to get a wall in. Now this wall that's going in here, this is going to be a backer for the refrigerator, and also a set of cabinets that we're going to put on this side. So it's kind of like a baker's rack. So we just doubled up on 3 sets of cabinets, and once that's there, then the refrigerator is going to go right against it, so it just needs a little bit of drywall. But now we're just kind of easily expanded that out. Here are the cabinets. That's going to be the base for our center island. Center island is the countertops. Again, it's going to be a butcher block wooden countertop. And it's going to be nice and big. It was 36 inches wide by 49 inches long. And we had cut a little 45 in there just as you're rounding the corner. Now, the stairs there, we wanted to give ourselves 36 to 40 inches of walking room, just so that it's easy to get around it. And then the countertop was sealed. And it's just great. You would normally have a table in here. Now we've got a permanent solution and all that extra storage space underneath. So they can put their stools on this side, and you can prep and cook and serve on the other. There's that railing that we put in for the stairs, and just a great overhead shot of that nice countertop. Once that was done, it was all finishing touches. So we had that backsplash we had to do something with. It was all glued in. We decided we were just going to do beadboard, and then we were going to cover that beadboard with a high gloss acrylic paint. And so this is really going to be durable in the long run, and it's just a great solution. Goes with that simple look, really makes that countertop pop. Now, where the refrigerator was going to go, we didn't do a full alcove for it. We're just doing, what amounts to a half alcove. We figured out we could put a cabinet above, which is great because we really wanted to go above and beyond with cabinet space. We finished it off, painted it up, put the refrigerator in, and so there you can see it's only half, so it exposed a little bit, but we've got all that extra space, and it really just kind of ties in with the color of the stove. Now the ceiling needed a lot of work, a lot of stains. It had a textured finish. We weren't going to even try to touch it, so all I did was we put 1/2 inch drywall on top of it, all the way around, and just finished it with a nice white ceiling paint. Finished the little trim molding that went above there. And this little stainless steel scoop was original to the house. Just need a little TLC, and that went back in and just tied in that original vent that we cleaned up. Stainless steel there, just a lot of little original touches that keep with the entire look. So here we are. From the start of this, it took us about 3 weeks to get the whole thing done to where we ended up. A great twist, a great modernization of a traditional house, and thanks for coming along and checking it out with me.